What it do, YouTube? It's your boy, Stank815, and I'm back with another video. Y'all new to that channel, make sure you hit that like, subscribe, share, comment, get notified when I drop these videos. Man, that's right, that's right, that's right, that's right. Yeah, y'all see who it is. It's Stank815. We about to get into this video. I actually been here. This video is about Odessa, Texas. I've been there. I'm not gonna lie. I wouldn't move there. I live in Texas, but I'm from Illinois. But I live in Texas, but I'm from Illinois. And Odessa is really kind of messed up too. I mean, I ain't never hung out there. I've been there to like deliver product because I'm a truck driver. So, and I rode through some stuff and it's kind of crazy. But let's get into this video.
From the time that I grew up until now, the crime.
Y'all can look up the guy right there. That's his name.
So many different times. But I'll go to prison before I go to that graveyard. I go to prison.
Wow.
My mother always said I'd rather say let my son go than let my son lay.
That's Michael. They call him Yum Yum around here. I met Michael the last morning I was in Odessa, Texas. I was like, Mike, hey, they say this place is bad and dangerous, but I don't see it. What am I missing? And he was basically like, man, it's crazy here. I've seen it all. Been to prison many times. This place is bad. Used to be the murder capital of the country. I was like,
I didn't know that.
I'll take your word for it. I mean, it looks kind of bad. At least part of town does.
Wednesdays at
Because Odessa is the most dangerous place in the state. That's why. Now, you might not have ever heard about the place, because, well, look around. It's not really that exciting. A tourist trap, this is not. But the history here and the reasons why this place is so bad are worth talking about. It's all very interesting. And now we are in the heart of Texas now, hombre. It is real out here, boy. Folks are tough and macho and manly. It's too bad we gotta talk about the criminals, though. Back in my day when we robbed somebody, we looked them in the eye. We held them up like a man. The only reason you shot is if they shot first. Well, that ain't how they do it now. And today, we're gonna mosey up and saddle around and check out the most dangerous place in Texas. And look, I even got deputized. Those are pump jacks.
Yeah.
Every day, up and down they go, pulling up fresh, beautiful crude. Texas drillers pull out 1 million barrels of that stuff before the sun sets each day from machines just like that. They're a big deal for our country and very important for this area. That right there is why a lot of these places exist. You could say they're the only reason most of western Texas even has anyone anymore. Remember 2 weeks ago when we were on the eastern side of Texas with all the chemical plants and refineries? Well, all that oil flow begins right here. Odessa is the largest city out here in what's known as the Permian Basin. Now, if you know anything about oil, you know that under the ground I'm driving on right now, as the biggest oil and gas reserve in the country. 40% of the oil production and 15% of gas production in the whole country is right underneath me. You can see on the map how big it is.
Yeah.
They say there's enough oil in here that it'll last another 50 years.
Man.
If we still need oil then. Because,
Prob-
you know, they're pushing e-vehicles on us now.
Yeah.
Look at all the oil rigs on the map. There's nothing out here but pump jacks and smallish cities for hundreds of square miles. This is West Texas. Looks like we could be in Kansas or Oklahoma or Nebraska or the Dakotas. And it is just all farms and flat.
True.
Now, where in the Texas are we anyways? We're way out here. We're halfway to Albuquerque. It is super desolate. We're kind of on the eastern edge of the deserty prairie land that begins in eastern California and covers a lot of Arizona and New Mexico too. If you've been following along, I've been in Texas for almost a month now. In the last 5 days, I've all been in western Texas. This is way different from anything I had seen up to this point on the road trip. But the whole reason Odessa got started isn't because of oil, it's cattle. Back in the late 1800s, Odessa popped up as a water stop for all the cattle that were being shipped on the roadways. And then they found oil nearby, but that was during the Great Depression. And that brought a lot of people here. Always does. Today there's more than 100,000 people in Odessa. And just about everybody here is connected to the oil field in one way or another. You're either working in it or you're related to somebody who works in oil. The population here goes up and down though. There'll be a bunch of people that move in when there's an oil boom. And then overnight, oil prices go down. And then a bunch of people are out of work and they leave. And when I was here, they were having a boom. Oil is up. So there's a lot of money to be made here. And therefore, the town is busy. And I mean busy. Oil's the reason Odessa blew up. And I've heard this before, oil's the reason it's doing so crummy here, too.
Odessa really look like that, y'all. I done been there.
Now, if you ask people in Texas where all the terrible places are to live, just about everybody's going to mention Odessa.
No, not
People
true.
call this place Horessa or Odesolate, and probably some other clever names I haven't heard of yet. One guy told me he wouldn't live in Odessa if they gave him City Hall. Okay. Somebody else I know told me that Odessa is definitely the armpit of Texas. He said, it's ugly as sin out there. It's factories and meth addicts. I was like, that's not very nice, but I want to see it. And after spending a couple days driving around here, I can say it's not very pretty. Well, one side of town isn't. Where we are right now is the most dangerous, poorest, run-down part of Odessa. It's in an area south of downtown. And after driving around a lot, I was like, I kind of think half the town looks like this. Odessa has the highest murder rate in the state of Texas.
I don't know if that's
Now,
true.
compared to big cities that you know are terrible, I'm talking St. Louis, Baltimore, Oakland, this is child's play. But it's bad for Texas. But this is just the dangerous part of the state in general. Also out this way are Lubbock and Amarillo, which are really bad for crime right now. I just left Amarillo. It did look pretty shady. If you're a numbers person, there were more than 800 violent crimes per 100,000 people here.
Dang, that's
That's
a lot.
Yeah. 1 in 16 Odessans are the victim of a crime. It's family violence, shootings, stabbings, robberies, home invasions, car thefts. I read somewhere once that this place has the 5th most car thefts in the country. And DUIs are a terrible problem here too. I never heard of the Midland, Odessa shootings. Some a-hole shot like 35 people and killed like 7 of them, including a state trooper. That was here a few years ago.
Okay, ask away.
All right, so I hear Odessa's dangerous. Is it really that dangerous?
You know, anywhere you go in the United States is dangerous, but Odessa, yes, is very, very dangerous. At one time, we were the murder capital of the United States for a city of our population. And here lately, there's been a lot of shootings, burglaries. Yeah, it's pretty dangerous. Yeah. Dangerous. Downtown? No. We're there at this present time. We're reviving downtown, making downtown what it used to be. I'm just gonna get my money's out.
I found said they think there's 30 active gangs in Odessa.
I wonder.
What? And 1,200 gang members here. Damn. There's a huge problem with drugs in Odessa, especially meth. Well, it lies along I-20. So there's a lot of drugs going back and forth between here and Mexico. And so overdoses are a huge problem here. Sometimes some of the kids in town think they're taking a Xanny, and then they find out it's laced with fent.
Sad.
That sucks. Of course, you have to keep in mind, this is all per capita. There are way more crazy things going on in Houston and San Antonio and the bigger cities. But per population, there's more going on here than anywhere else in the state.
This is all because of George Soros.
Zorro? Well, hell, Mappy. He's pretty good with them swords, but he ain't much of a shot. I saw it once. Couldn't hit the broadside of a buffalo.
No, George Soros. The guy who wants to take over the world. He wants this and pays people to keep it like this.
Well, hell, Mappy. That ain't American. We should find him and make him face the damn law. Now, is it conservative here? Well, what do you think, mister? This is Western Texas. There ain't a damn lid for 100 miles. If you flew a Biden flag out here, you'd get the good old-fashioned West Texas wave. Now, there's some Dems around here. I'll show those later. But it sure is an oil-loving cowboy culture out here. They love their guns. They love booze and barbecues and smoking. People out here didn't give a shit about the pandemic and mask wearing. Well, if that ain't the most Texas thing you've ever seen. If you ever doubt how much oil impacts this part of Texas, look at this. There's pump jacks right in the middle of all these poor neighborhoods. They've tried to diversify Western Texas and not make it as reliant on gas and oil and chemical plants. But it's been hard going with that. A lot of the new people in town for the latest oil boom are Hispanic. It's nearly 60% Hispanic in Odessa today. Most of the Latinos in town probably ain't gonna stick around when oil peters out though. They'll find something else to do. Move on. Okay, so why here and why are things so bad? Well, oil's been good, but oil's been bad to the place. They say it's the 8th least educated small city in the country. Well, a lot of that has to do with the industry in town. You don't have to go to college to be able to do this stuff. You just gotta have a strong back. And the poverty rate here is high. 1 in 7 Odessans collect welfare. There just isn't a lot to do outside of the oil industry. And these big booms and busts make it worse. People have these long periods when they're out of work, and then they know things are going to get bad here when the next bust comes. It's coming, just nobody knows when. So they have these long days on and long days off, lots of time for alcohol and drug abuse. And you got all these tough young men in town with criminal backgrounds, lots of drifters in town all the time. It's good and bad. Big paychecks, but unsteady work.
Yeah.
And that messes with people's minds.
They
I mean,
do.
it's pretty beat up. It's really beat up. But I've been driving around the worst hoods of Odessa for about an hour now, and I'm like, this is the most dangerous place in Texas?
No.
Is there something I'm missing? Because this is the most chill, dangerous ghetto I think I've ever been in. It's just empty. I don't get it. It's super run down, but I don't really see a lot of, I don't feel danger. I mean, I've been in some hoods and felt danger and felt sketchy, and this is not that at all. But we'll come back to this hood in a little bit, maybe later on in the day, and see if we can get some action.
Now, Michael, the guy that we met at the beginning, he told me this is all bad. And the stats say this is bad. It just doesn't look bad to me, though. I told Michael where I was driving for 2 days, and he was like, yeah, that's the hood. You saw it. I guess sometimes the way something looks doesn't match the reality of what it really is.
Why is this so dangerous? What's going on in Odessa that makes it so dangerous?
Okay, drugs, number one. Money, the oil. People are doing what they have to do nowadays. Doing what they have to do.
So like the oil industry up and down puts people on edge. They need to go out and hustle. I don't get it.
Yes, they do. They really do. And this here, you can have back.
No, you keep it, man.
No. It's not enough.
Not enough?
No.
Alright.
But anyway, keep asking. I don't mind asking questions.
Alright. So how has Odessa changed since you have you grew up here?
Yes, I'm from Odessa.
How's it changed?
The city has changed for its the growth. We have a lot of new people coming to town because of the all rigs and all wells and different things of that nature. Odessa Permian is the highlight of this city. Friday night lights, they call it.
I came to Odessa because everyone's like, it's the most dangerous place per capita statistically. Is that bullshit?
No, at one time Odessa, as I said earlier, at one time Odessa was very, very dangerous.
But it's less now.
Oh yes, it's
What did
calm
they
now.
do? Why's it calming down?
Number one, we had a badass sheriff, Slim Gabriel and Bob Brookshot. They did not play that. Slim Gabriel says, I don't mind y'all taking these people money, but stop hitting them in the head. They ain't had no damn business over here on this side, no way. Talking about your people.
So the sheriff started cracking down.
Start cracking down. And then when Mr. Brookshot became sheriff, oh my. He became sheriff with the same guy in Midland, Gary Painter. At the same time, you know, they just hardcore, hard knuckles, man.
So they cleaned it up.
They cleaned it up, yes.
What about you, man? You cleaned up?
No, I haven't. I need a drink now. I need a cigarette. You got a cigarette?
Of course, there's a lot of good people in this part of town. A lot of these people are working hard, and they spend a lot of time away from their families to keep this country going. And it's cheap here. Homes on this street are probably all $100K or less. Good for them. I'll tell you what, the whole place smells like natural gas and sounds like diesel engines.
Tough man next to me.
tough macho men in front of me, all the tough macho men behind me, they are everywhere. Sounds like diesel everywhere you go around here. It's diesel trucks and men with dirty boots. I tell you what, everywhere you go in Odessa, the oil biz is in your face. Big trucks, dudes walking around in stained old jeans, kicking off grime and stains off their boots.
There are trucks in this town.
That's true.
I tell you, everywhere you go, it's just pickup trucks, semi trucks, construction trucks. Should call this Truck City. Damn.
And look at the truck stop bathroom. It is man up time in here. There are some big dumps going on down that row. Can of Skull on the side of the highway. Ain't that the most Texas thing you've ever seen? The Permian Basin is for tough, macho men and women. Ain't no room for soft out here. You're up early and you work hard and you love your country and you don't ask for no thanks. My kind of people. Everybody here knows the risks of relying on the oil industry. It wasn't too long ago that all of this was closed. There were all these zombie wells everywhere. And then, within a month, the whole side of Texas is filled with big trucks and frackers and just dig, dig, dig. And when it's time to dig, look out. People come from all over the country. Right now, Odessa is seeing the biggest boom Texas has seen since the 80s. The price of oil is just so high right now. It costs them $40 a barrel to get the crude out of the ground. So as long as the oil's above that, it's profit. Well, right now, it's sitting at $83 a barrel. So times are good, mister. Same goes for natural gas. Everything is up right now. Why? Well, because there's wars going on. And Joe Biden sold all of our reserves to foreign countries. But you know what? Now that I think about it, all these dudes getting these big checks that are hardcore conservative, they should probably be Biden fans for keeping them so busy and all. I mean, the dude emptied out all the tanks. Someone's got to fill them up. And if they don't appreciate Joe Biden, their wives should. This is what the middle class in Odessa looks like, I guess. Homes here in the 200,000s in this part of town.
What?
But I didn't see a lot of middle class when I was here. Also, I wasn't looking for it. We have a shrinking middle class in America. It's very much becoming rich or poor.
That's true.
That's all you get. And boy, is that the case here in Odessa. So as I learned, Odessa is very much two sides of town. You got the dark, poor side on the south end that we saw already. But then I was driving around exploring and I realized the entire north end is rich and white. There was all kinds of construction going on up here. Fancy shopping, big homes. I mean big homes. Look at this gated community. I wondered if these were oil execs or plant higher-ups or if this was all somehow related to the energy industry. Because I didn't see a lot of places in town that could buy all this. outside of the big hospitals in town. Maybe these are doctors? It's like this all over the north end of Odessa. There aren't any pump jacks up here. I bet if they tried to drill for oil in one of these neighborhoods, a bunch of Karens would chain themselves to a damn excavator. Turn that thing around. My kids walk through here. I'll drive my new Jeep, but not in my backyard. All the schools up here are really nice. The colleges up here. I mean, it's all completely different from the older, overgrown part of town that I had spent the previous day in. I was like, damn. And what made it interesting to me was I just had no idea this part of town was even here. I just assumed, based on what I had heard about Odessa, that the whole city was blighted. People told me, Odessa, Midland, is a shithole. It's ghetto. It's the worst place in Texas. Not up here, though. They are building all over up here. Doesn't look like the armpit of Texas to me. Doesn't seem that bad at all, really. There's enthusiasm in a lot of town, and money to be made, and families to start. I think most of the stuff up here is probably in the 400,000s. Look good to you? Well, does your kid excel in football? Is your husband tough? Then you should move here. It's Texas. There's construction and traffic everywhere, so clearly a lot of people want to be here.
Did you know George and Barbara Bush used to live in Odessa?
Well, hell, those are real Texans, Mappy. Downtown Odessa isn't really much to speak of. There's a hospital here and a few buildings that look like they might be kind of important. But I don't think you could have a night out down here. I drove around downtown for a while and I was very unimpressed. All the things to do are on the north end, I guess. But I guess there's really nothing to do here but work hard and save. People come here to work, not to play. It's not even 7:30 in the morning, and there's a lot of people out. Some hard workers in Odessa, I say. One morning I got up early and walked around. There wasn't much going on in downtown. Where is everyone? It's clean. Aren't any weirdos walking around? I don't feel unsafe downtown. It's just super quiet. Doesn't feel dangerous to me at all. There's just nobody around. Can't even find anybody to talk to. Usually there's weirdos and bums laying around. But not here. I just didn't get it. I've seen terrible downtowns with sketchy everywhere, boarded up, just gross and weirdos and just not a good place to be. This is the most dangerous place in Texas? I tucked into a bail bonds place to get the scoop on what I was missing. I was like, hey dude, what's going on? Well, the guy didn't really want to have a conversation about it. Guess he had to worry about getting people out of jail. I've been here for 2 days and I don't understand why everybody says that. It doesn't feel dangerous to me. What am I missing?
I have no idea. But I don't think it's all that dangerous.
You know?
Play that. We're going to 2nd down and 3.
For fun, for a lot of people, it's all about football. Friday Night Lights. Well, this isn't Friday, and it's not night, so the lights aren't on. But that there is a big deal around these parts. Football is huge in Texas. I cannot overstate that.
Yeah, it is.
And what we're looking at right now is Ratliff Stadium. That place holds 17,000 people. It's the third biggest high school stadium in the country, mister. Both the local high schools play here. And when they play each other, well, I'll tell you what, you never seen so many people freak out over some kids playing a game. And then down the road, this is Perriman High School. That's where they based Friday Night Lights on. In 1998, this high school right here made a shocking run to the Texas State Championship. And it was a big deal here. Nobody ever forgets that. You win a high school title in Texas, you ain't buying a meal again. You can probably open your own car dealership when you're 18. That's neat. Animals are a big deal in Odessa. They have these jackrabbits everywhere. Why? Well, in 1932, Odessa hosted the world's first ever jackrabbit roping contest at their rodeo. So they want to remember that, I guess. And then downtown, they have a huge longhorn steer to remind everybody about the old cattle days that were so important here. It's a very accurate bowl. Hi, everyone. I also read about the famous giant cow outside of some steakhouse on the north end. Had to see it too. Right outside of McDonald's. Somebody else told me, you need to go see the little replica Stonehenge on the college campus. So I did. It's okay, I guess. For Odessa, it's exciting. For me, it is not. But I appreciate it for what it is. I'm gonna take him to safety. Towards the end of my second day here, I rescued a turtle. I know. He was trying to cross the road to get to the other side, and it was super busy. People fly around here. Worst drivers from any place I think I saw in the entire trip.
True.
Oil workers and big diesel trucks that ain't got time for me. And all these teenagers and their big trucks with their loud shit going on. Everybody was in a damn hurry. All right, Mr. Turtle. Let's put you down. There. New little housing development. Yeah. So anyway, I saw this turtle in the middle of the road. I grabbed him, and then I took him up to one of the nice neighborhoods on the north end and let him out. He seemed happy about it, but I don't speak turtle. For date nights, it's pretty much Mexican food here. At least down on the poor side of town, where me and my manager stayed. But who's complaining? I hadn't had Mexican food since, well, shit, I can't even remember. Hidalgo County, maybe? That was like 15 days ago. Damn. Oh yeah, my kind of place. Anyways, this place is totally chill. And it looked to me like all the locals in here are some shade of oil worker. Look at that. They know how to do it right. And more cowboying on the TV. Damn, I think that's an Indian cowboy. I didn't think you could mix cowboys and Indians. Stuff changes. And he's pretty good too. Look at him go. And then there's Michael. I liked Michael. He's street, like me. Smart and cunning, but cool. The morning we met, I saw him walking around looking for shit on the ground. Money, smokes, drugs, I don't know. He told me he found a $100 bill out there one day. Anyways, I saw him out there, and I was like, he looks like he's got some perspective on this place. So I went over by him, and I set up this shot on the railroad tracks, knowing that eventually he'd come over and ask me what I was doing. He did. Then I offered him $10 to hang out with me for a little bit. And he took my money. And then we started talking, and then he gave me my money back. and he asked me for some cigarettes. So I bought us a pack of cigarettes, and I gave him 17 of them. And then later on, we were driving around, and he said, "Hey, you know what? I think I do want that $10. And I was like, "Nice try, Mike. I gave you the damn pack of smokes." Anyway, I like Mike. He told me that he's been in and out of prison his entire life. He told me that the last time he was in prison was for stealing his mom's debit card, and that was 4 years ago. His first time was for breaking and entering. But he said after he got in trouble for stealing from his mom, he realized he's never going back to prison. And I believe him. He told me, "I have 10 years left on this earth, and I'm going to live out my days in Odessa."
Now you ask me how many times I've been to
I
prison.
think it's interesting because you're trying to get out of that shit.
I'm out of that shit. It's been almost 4 years that an officer has not asked me for my ID.
That's good.
So I've changed a lot of things about me.
How old are you?
I'm 61 years old.
So what's 20 years? You got 20 years left. What are you going to do with your life in 20 years?
I don't think I have 20 years left.
Say you got 10 years. What are you going to do for 10 years?
One day at a time. I don't really have no short-term, long-term goals. Just one day at a time.
You going to stay in Odessa?
This is my home. Excuse me, I'm gonna get a key. Now, this is my home. Now, this is my home. I'm gonna be here. If I'm sorry to leave, I gotta go to work. I'm sorry, I gotta go to work.
I think Odessa's going to be worse off with Michael gone. Straight up, I didn't think Odessa was bad at all. I just think it has a bad reputation. It's way better than where I'm from. I hope this place keeps getting better. Just like Mike. Are you looking to move and need advice?